Welcome back for another video. In this video we've picked out all the biggest GW21 questions and dilemmas for a game week guide. If you'd like your questions answered in a future video, you just need to be subscribed and you'll see a post on your feed every Wednesday taking questions. I've also been playing around with a brand new look to this series. Let me know what you think in the comments. So the first question is from Chris, asking who the best Trent replacements are and is it worth a -4 to sell. We've shortlisted 3 here, so let's discuss them. Estupiñán has just returned from injury recently with an immediate impact. He scored a couple of game weeks ago and he also scored in the FA Cup. Brighton have got the best run of fixtures in the league, so he's a comfortable set for get picked for the foreseeable future. 4 attacking returns and 7 starts for him this season, and he also got a return off the bench. 5 mil, so he's cheapest of the 3. Pedro Porro is 5.8 mil, and if we compare his underlying numbers to others near him, he's in elite company. Trippier's top for XGI this season with 6.23, Pedro Porro's second with 6.08 XGI, and Trent's third with 5.92 XGI. So he's putting up numbers comparable to Trent and Trippier, who cost significantly more. Spurs also boosted by players starting to return from injury, Van de Ven, Maddison and Romero close to returning, plus the signing of highly rated Dragusin as centre-back depth. So they should improve defensively. His 33 shots taken this season is also more than any defender. The only downside to Maddison's return is that Pedro Porro will probably be off some set pieces in all likelihood, but he's still a top pick. And lastly, Walker, who started every single game for City this season, which is very rare for a City defender, and with Stones injured, his spot looks relatively secure. We'll talk double game weeks later in this video. City are expected to have one in the next month, so it'd be a great route into City's defence for that as well. He's 5.4 mil. Markham's stuck on captain choices this week and he's wondering who the best captain is. It's a tricky week this week because our go-to premiums, Son, Salah and Haaland, not options for the armband this week. In my eyes, the best 2 are Saka and Palmer, so let's break them down. Review projections have Saka top, Palmer third, and Tony in between the 2, but he's in very few of our teams anyway, and given this is Tony's first game back, it seems a bit risky. Although Arsenal have had a few bad results recently, it's the sort of game where you'd expect a big reaction, playing at home as well. Chelsea are in a similar boat, fans are going to be demanding a reaction after the loss to Borough in the Cup. Palmer had plenty of chances in that fixture, and he's on pens as we know. Excluding Son and Salah, and Elise who's injured, this is the midfielder expected goal involvement over the last 6 game weeks. Saka's top with 4.23 XGI, and then it's Gross, and then it's Palmer. So good underlying numbers to back them both. One question is, will the second League Cup leg be at the back of Pochettino's head if Chelsea are ahead against Fulham? They're 1-0 down at the moment heading into the second leg. There is a 10-day gap between those, so it might not happen, but perhaps an outside chance of an early substitution which could favour Saka. Personally, I'm on captain Saka and Palmer vice-captain. Pirakesh asks whether it's viable to keep both Trent and Salah, and in his case he can still get to Haaland and put a semi-decent team out for the next few weeks. There's definitely a case to be made for holding them, especially if you can field a good enough team. So if Egypt finish top of their group, they'll play their quarter-final match on January 29th, and if they're runners-up in their group then on January 28th. The GW22 deadline is on January 30th after the quarter-final. Liverpool play on the 31st as well, a very late kick-off. So if you can, delaying the Salah transfer till GW22 is perfectly fine, given the outside chance of him being back if they're knocked out. And likewise, Trent could be back for Arsenal, so only 2 game weeks out potentially. Liverpool also could double in Game Week 25, which holds weight into holding them. It really depends on how strong a team you can field if you're holding. You don't want to hamstring your team too much. Egypt obviously could go on a deep cup run, and therefore selling now and hoping that happens is a sound strategy as well. And then buy back around Game Week 25, which is still a good few transfers away. Let's have a dig into the experts' transfers to see what they're up to this game week. The full video is going to be out later today, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Lots of them are selling Son and Salah this week, their favourite replacements being Foden and Richarlison. Foden's in great form at the moment, as we know, and it looks like De Bruyne is going to be eased back in, so no immediate threat to his minutes. Some are downgrading to cheaper mids though, in Garnacho and Gross. Garnacho is an interesting one. If we look at mids that are under 7 mil over the last 6 game weeks, he's registered 3.29 expected goal involvement, which ranks 5th. A high non-penalty XG than Elise, Gross and Palmer above him. It looks like Man United have got settled front 3 now, with Rashford left wing, Garnacho right wing. So Salah to Garnacho does free up enough money to move any forward to Haaland in Game Week 22. And if you're selling a mid-price striker for Haaland, you'll have spare change for a potential route back to Salah on his return. Trent's being sold by lots of the experts for Estupiñán, as is Lascelles. We saw Gross on the table just now. He's second after release for XGI over the last 6, looking at mids under 7 mil. 22 chances created over that run, which is top in the league. Very under the radar pick for 6.4 mil, and he's only 4.7% owned. Side Pranath asks whether Maddison's return will affect Richarlison's minutes. It shouldn't have any effect on Richarlison as they play different positions. If anything, his return should be good news for Richarlison owners, as he's going to benefit from Maddison creating chances for him. In case you missed it, Maddison's expected back in full training next week, so a good chance of a Gameweek 22 return. Grapesy asks when's the best time to use our free hit and wildcard chips. Right now there's no obvious answer because the blanks and doubles are unknown. However, let's talk about some notable upcoming game weeks and potential strategies. Gameweek 25 will be a small double game week, Gameweek 26 a small blank game week, Gameweek 29 is going to be a huge blank game week, the biggest of the season. It could be something like 5 games on, which makes it a potential free hit week to put a team out and then get your team back in Gameweek 30. Gameweek 34 will be both a double game week and a blank game week in all likelihood. And lastly, Gameweek 37 is going to be a huge double game week. So triple captain is going to work in any of those double game weeks, be it Salah or Haaland or perhaps someone else. The free hit can be a really powerful chip as it works great in both blank or double game weeks. For example, instead of using it in the big blank game week 29, you could use it in 34 or 37 to put out the best 11 possible with all your players doubling. If you adopt that strategy, it of course means the huge blank in 29 is going to be more difficult to navigate. So an alternative strategy is to dead end your team into that week by selling players that you want for game week 29 only. For example, Man City are likely to blank in game week 29 while Brentford aren't, so you could sell Haaland for Tony, who plays Burnley that week, and then wildcard Haaland straight back into your team in game week 30. We'll talk lots more about chip strategy and break it down as simple as possible in the coming weeks once it's clearer, so make sure you subscribe him. GK asks whether to buy Haaland for Alvarez or to roll. What we know is Haaland wasn't in Man City's squad versus Huddersfield at all, so based on that, what are the chances that he comes straight into the starting 11 versus Newcastle? It is possible, but given the uncertainty, the sensible thing to do is roll, and then look to buy Haaland in Game Week 22. It's absolutely crucial that we all set ourselves up to be able to buy Haaland in Game Week 22 if we don't have him already, as City are home to Burnley that game week where he's the clear best captain. FPL Studs asked if Bowen's definitely out. The latest on Bowen is 2 to 3 weeks out, which is better than the immediate fears that it was longer, but it's safe to say he won't be involved in Game Week 21. Perhaps an outside chance in Game Week 22 though, given they don't play until the 1st of February, and the injury was sustained 3 weeks before then. So if you have Bowen, there is logic to holding on to him if you can, despite him missing Game Week 21. In Game Week 22 they're home to Bournemouth. And lastly, with that all in mind, here's how my team looks for Game Week 21. Ederson in goal, Saliba, Estupinan and Pedro Porro in defence, Gordon, Palmer, Bowen and Saka in midfield, Solanke, Alvarez and Watkins up top. Looking to make a final transfer before the deadline, which is going to be Salah to Garnacho for a -4. This frees up enough money for Haaland in Game Week 22 in place of any of the front three, with leftover in the bank for a route back to Salah in place of Bowen in a few weeks' time. Buying Garnacho also allows Trent to be held, which is going to be very handy if Liverpool get the double Game Week 25. Saka captain, Palmer vice captain, and Pinnock's first on the bench. Loose plan for the coming weeks is Haaland in Game Week 22, roll in Game Week 23 or 24, and then downgrade one of the forwards to a 4.5 mil forward like Archer and Mubama, which then frees up enough money for Bowen back to Salah on his return. Thanks for watching, drop this video a like if it was helpful, see you soon for the next one.